Heart disease continues to be the leading killer among men and women in the United States, which is why we wanted to take a little time during the month of February, also Heart Month, to take a look at a local family who's been touched ×3 by the importance of the heart. Joining us now with a preview of her story, Cardiac Connection, is News Channel 7's Heather Starr. Thank you so much for stopping by News Channel 7 at 5, Heather.
Before we actually dig into the story, tell us how you found this unique family.
Well, I always encourage people, like if you have a personal story, of course, to email us. But, you never know if someone's going to take us up on that.
Right.
But we did a story back in November congratulating Aspirus Cardiovascular Center. They were like a top 50 hospital in the United States, which in itself is a great story. But a gentleman reached out to me, via email and said, your story is so true, and I have a personal connection to Aspirus, and I want to tell you about it. So he did.
Sure, and you sat down with this family and learned that they ended up having a really unusual tie to a heart?
Yes.
Explain that.
Yeah, so in doing this story, I don't want to throw people off. It kind of hints at maybe there was some kind of an organ donation, or like they share some pieces of the heart. It's not exactly like that, but they do have a very unique bond between the three of them. So Mike Stouffer is the subject of the story, and just a crazy process of 22 surgeries and more stents in his heart than anyone I've ever heard of. But yeah, connected to two family members that work in the cardiac unit at Aspirus. So just a very unusual kind of role reversal between your work life and then your personal life.
As someone who comes out of anesthesia not well myself, I can't imagine having to come out of it 20 some odd times.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. What personally did you take out of the story or the family that you met?
Sitting down with each of them and kind of talking to them, it's such an intimate topic, but all three of them really pointed out that you have to have humor in your life, and that's such a vulnerable position to be in, and then having your family members, watch you undergo all of these surgeries, and you want to be strong for them. All three of them just reiterated, you have to have a sense of humor about things, and they were close before this all happened, and it's just amazing the way that they described, as a bond that was already there, how it just continued to grow and got even stronger. So I'm really excited to share the story because they're just such a great family, and we're so open with us about, a process that a lot of people maybe wouldn't want to talk about.
It sounds like you did some laughing with them, even though the story is on the serious side.
Absolutely. It was a really good kind of a juxtaposition, really the most vulnerable situation you could possibly be in with your heart. And then, just their takeaway was you have to take every day and just enjoy it every day that you get, really.
Live every day like it's the last. When it comes to your heart, health issues are nothing to treat lightly. A local family knows all too well just how important taking care of that special muscle really is.
According to the CDC, heart disease consistently remains the #1 killer among men and women in the United States. In tonight's special report, we sit down with a family who knows the statistics all too well. Here's a look at Cardiac Connection.
It's by no accident.
It's hard to tell that Mike Stouffer has 19 stents in his heart.
It was a good 2.5-year ordeal, and what I got out of it was listen to your wife.
I was the neck.
Just 5 years ago, in this very same hospital, he underwent his first of a long list of procedures, beginning with a heart graft ×5.
I saw him short of breath, and I noticed he was taking naps, and I'm like, okay, this is not normal for him.
He came in with symptoms of angina, which is chest pain that occurs when the heart isn't getting enough blood.
Dr. David Murdoch helped perform one of Mike's major surgeries, while Mike's wife, Bobbi, waited anxiously outside the very room she often works in. No easy task, since she's assisted in identical surgeries in the cardiac unit as a nurse over the past 30 years.
Oh, you know what? Hold on.
And she's not the only one closer than normal to the process. Mike's son, Sean, is also a cardiac nurse. He was motivated to switch professions after his dad's journey. He took us back to the day the entire process began.
I got a call from my mom, and she was up here in the waiting room, so it was a little tough. Stop it. But it was, and like he said, they wouldn't tell me. So it was, I'd call the house, no answer. Call the house again about 3 hours later, no answer. Well, they aren't going to be gone that long. So I'd call the hospital. Can you put me through to Mike Stouffer's room? Bam. He was here. So that's how I found out, and I'd track him down. Now he can't do that anymore.
To date, Mike has undergone 22 surgeries to get his heart working properly.
The doctors keep good tabs on me. I bet you the doctors probably know my heart better than Google knows hers.
The family says they were always close and tried to laugh a lot, but the medical scare brought them even closer.
You go through a gamut of feelings, you know, you're grateful, you don't want your loved ones to worry, you just want to get better.
It took Mike months of therapy to try and get better. Fortunately, he and Bobbi were able to turn to one of their favorite hobbies to incorporate into his rehab process: walks and taking pictures.
We used to do it with sunsets, and we time it to the sunsets, so our cameras are full of sunsets. And I truly believe you need a sense of humor. Without a sense of humor, you're just gonna pity yourself.
A reminder of the family's ordeal and their road to recovery hangs now in the cardiac wing at Aspirus Wausau Hospital, where they're grateful for each and every sunset. Now, Mike and his family agreed to tell us their story, hoping they could inspire others who might be a little stubborn or uncomfortable around doctors to get their hearts checked out. Mike admitted he was a little standoffish about hospitals until his first surgery.
But his wife works in a hospital.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, so no excuses. I mean, but it does take a little effort sometimes. Some people just don't like it. But
22 surgeries?
yeah, and 19 stents. That might be a record.
It might be. Good stuff.